What an absolute pleasure. Welcome.
So are you ready to hear another Marvel story?
Is it Thor?
Oh my god, will you shut up about Thor? Before we can get to that, we need to hear another story about Iron Man first.
Oh, it's good to be back. You missed me.
We meet this guy Ivan Vanko as he watches his dad die in his crappy apartment in Russia. Turns out that his dad used to be a scientist that worked with Howard Stark.
How does a good scientist die poor?
Well, he was accused of spying on the United States in the 60s, and history teaches us that Russia would have no use for a scientist that specialized in power sources for weapons technology during the Cold War at all. So he dies, and Ivan wants revenge on Howard, who's also dead. So he builds his own arc reactor.
Wait, he wants revenge on a guy that was mean to his dad and waits 30 years to do it? Then he goes after the son?
Yeah, all while his dad is probably just starting to smell on the couch.
If I may, you go after his legacy. That's what you kill.
If you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him.
I want to take a dump in Tony's front yard. You know what I'm talking about?
I can do that,
Yeah?
no problem.
Iron Man flies into a crowd and everybody loves to see a superhero up close.
Okay. Hey, buddy. Larry King. Larry!
But backstage, we see that Tony has something wrong with his blood. We also see that he has to meet with the Senate because they want him to turn over the Iron Man suit to the military.
Is that possible?
They introduce their weapons expert, Justin Hammer, who says that one man can't be there all the time, so they need the suit.
Anthony Stark has created a sword with untold possibilities, and yet he insists it's a shield.
They then call in Rhodey, who might have gotten a little shorter since we last saw him. I'm not sure, but there's something different. And they ask him to testify against Tony.
He is my friend, and he is my great mentor.
They see that other countries are trying to make the suits too, but then Tony shows them what a crappy job they're actually doing. And this makes this guy, Senator Stern, really upset.
Funny how annoying a little prick can be, isn't it?
But not as upset as Ivan, who's just watching this on TV with his bird. And he just finished making some electric whips.
He uses whips? Like Bunny Wigglesworth? Does he talk like him too?
He does now.
Well, actually, I'm not all that bad with a whip.
So back in Malibu, we get an exposition dump from Jarvis about how the palladium core in Tony's chest is killing him. He then makes Pepper CEO of his company because she basically does everything anyway.
Yeah, it's called being a badass.
Fine.
Ivan gets a fake passport and a ticket to the Grand Prix in Monaco. Pepper has a notary to show up to verify the transfer of ownership of the company, and the notary beats up Happy.
Oh my god!
I want one.
No.
In Monaco, we see that the notary, Natalie Rushman, is now Tony's secretary. Justin Hammer's meeting up with Christine from Vanity Fair. Remember her?
I thought it'd be bigger.
A lot of people call that being a hero.
I never said you were a superhero.
Hammer needs a slot, Christine.
And we find out that he lost his government contract. So Tony checks his blood and kind of figures out that if he doesn't have much more time, he might as well enjoy himself. Christine looks up and sees that Tony has decided to drive in the race. But I'm not sure where he got the racing suit.
The suit and I are one.
Ivan walks out on the tracks and attacks the cars with his whips. I'm not sure if his target was the race or Tony, but he gets him. Happy hits him with his car a few times.
Oh my god!
And after Pepper gives Tony the suit, we see that Ivan can still walk.
Oh, so he has a full suit like Tony does.
No, it's kind of like a backpack. Maybe it works like women's armor in video games.
You mean to wear that drab-little costume and charge about picking fights with total strangers? What?
Tony manages to rip out the arc reactor, and the police arrest Ivan. In jail, Tony stupidly tells him how he could have made his weapons better, and Ivan tells him who his father was.
Well, I never heard of him.
But I ought to freshen up to say hi-ho to the old gent.
I'll send you a bar of soda.
Ivan also knows that the palladium is killing Tony. That night, Ivan gets some bomb-ass potatoes and a new cellmate that could have been his twin.
We were once roommates. Yes, I rather like that, roommates. Yes.
He kills his twin and escapes.
What if Ivan couldn't kill that guy?
I don't know. Wasn't exactly the best plan. I mean, they put this other criminal in there, hope that Ivan notices the prison number first and gets the upper hand, blow up the lock, all while not clearing the hall of the other guards. Ivan has to kill one of the guards on his way out, and then they cover his head and put him in a van. Why not incapacitate the guards, let Ivan out, throw the already dead twin in the cell, and then blow it up as you leave? Their plan was way too overcomplicated.
Dipshits.
Agreed?
Well, it turns out Justin Hammer was behind the prison break, and he wants to make a deal with Ivan.
You need my resources. Someone behind you, a benefactor. I'd like to be that guy.
Rhodey shows up at Tony's house, and we see that their relationship might be what changed. They used to talk to each other different.
Tony, you gotta get upstairs and get on top of this situation right now.
Now you're gonna come by and see what I'm working on?
No. The less I know, the better.
Look, it's me. I'm here to deal with it. Let's move on.
I just
Drop it.
All right.
Hammer shows Ivan his lab, and they have some disagreements on how the project should go.
Drone better? Why is drone better? Why is drone better?
I don't fight.
So Tony is having his birthday party, and he is white girl wasted. He starts breaking bottles over people's heads, and Rhodey has to put on the Mark II suit to get people to leave. They end up fighting and blasting each other, and it finally ends with them blowing up Tony's house. Rhodey then takes the suit back to the Air Force Base.
Whoa. What? No, he took it? You're Iron Man and he just took it?
Where he buzzes the tower like Maverick.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
McFlurry meets Tony for breakfast, and Natalie shows up and reveals herself as a S.H.I.E.L.D. spy.
What are you wearing?
Are you blending in well here, Natalie?
She injects him with something, and we can see the spread of the palladium slow down. He also says that Ivan's dad, Anton Vanko, was deported, and the Russians wanted him to make an arc reactor, but he couldn't do it.
But he had the plan.
I know, and Ivan made a mini version of it in no time, like in his dad's apartment, so he had all the materials just laying around. McFlurry gives him a box, and Coulson grounds him until he figures out his medical problem. Hammer shows up at the Air Force Base to meet Rhodey to work on the Iron Man suit.
Got any other bad ideas?
Inside the box that McFlurry gave him is all the info on the arc reactor, and his dad left a message so he would know how to complete the project.
Tony, you're too young to understand this right now, so I thought I would put it on film for you.
I'd like to personally show you my ass.
Well, apparently he's not grounded anymore because he goes to see Pepper and tries to poison her.
Did you bring me strawberries?
Yeah. Where do you think I've been for 3 hours?
But it might just be a subliminal thing because she did kind of accelerate his palladium poisoning when she blew up Obadiah. He finds out that Pepper now has Natalie, or Natasha, whichever one you want to call her, and Happy are both working for her. He sees a floor plan and somehow figures out that that was his dad's way of leaving him plans to make a new element.
That was really smart. Vanko never would have found it there.
No, it was just something cryptic for no reason at all. He could have just left a piece of paper in the box that said, "Hey Tony, try this." And we know that Tony is really smart because he rents all the tools from Home Depot, demos his house, express ships and sets up his equipment, and creates a new element, all before Hammer's presentation the next night.
Contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm doing.
So Coulson's getting called away to go on a secret mission, which is probably a good thing because he kind of sucked as a babysitter.
I've been authorized by Director Fury to use any means necessary to keep you on premises.
I mean, Tony was able to go to Stark Industries, get all this equipment, and build all this stuff without Coulson even knowing.
If you attempt to leave or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the carpet.
And Hammer is pissed that Ivan's going to mess up his presentation. He made drones instead of suits.
Take your shoes.
My this?
These drones better steal the show, Ivan.
And he also made whips to the specs that Tony gave him.
Whip your baddie.
Hammer supplied Rhodey's suit with Hammer Tech and turned him into the War Machine. And now he's going to present War Machine as the focus of his demonstration.
And now your overpriced paperweights are going to look like a backdrop to my demonstration.
So even though Justin Hammer's main point was that Iron Man can't be everywhere at once, and attacking the Expo would be the exact example that he was looking for, Ivan calls Tony to let him know that there's gonna be an attack at the Expo.
Oh, yes.
Well, during the presentation, Tony shows up to warn him, but Ivan hacks into the War Machine and attacks Tony.
The Stark Expo. Welcome.
He flies away to lure them away from the crowd, but it's all the drones and Rhodey against Tony.
Surprising? No, it's not surprising. I get it.
Natasha finds out that Ivan is at Hammer's facility, and she and Happy go there. And that's when we get to see that Natasha is a super spy badass.
Like Tae Bo, Booty Boot Camp, Crunch, something like that?
and Happy helps too. She stops the hack to Rhodey's suit, and he and Tony fight the drones. Even though McFlurry said that Tony was a one-man show, he works really well with Rhodey, and they end up taking out the drones. So Tony's new arc reactor has enough energy to power this weapon that he can only use once, but it's pretty awesome. Well, Vanko shows up, and we see the War Machine has a secret weapon too.
Hammer tech?
Yeah.
Luckily, Tony upgraded his suit so that way he won't take electrical damage, so he's able to last longer in the fight.
I swear to God, I'll dismantle you, I'll soak your motherboard, I'll turn you into a wine rack.
And Iron Man and War Machine cross the streams and blow Ivan up.
At least Tony gets to take down a bad guy in this one. Pepper took down Obadiah.
Well, technically, Hammer's the main bad guy. I mean, Ivan wouldn't even be an issue if he would have just left him in jail. So Pepper actually has him arrested, so that's 2 main bad guys that she's taken down.
I'm gonna make a problem for you. I'm gonna be seeing you again real soon.
But Ivan has one last trick. He made it so all the drones would blow up.
Oh, yes.
So Tony has to hurry up and save Pepper. Once he saves her, she decides she doesn't want to run the company anymore.
I promise you this is the only time I will ask you to sign over your company.
And they become a couple.
And then I realized, it's you. It's always been you.
Have you been drinking?
But they've been mean to each other the whole story.
Stop acting constipated.
You are
Don't flare
so
your nostrils.
predictable. All I'm doing is putting out your fires and taking the heat for it.
I need you to wear a surgical mask until you're feeling better. Is that okay?
That's rude.
Well, some lazy writers tend to think that if you save somebody's life, it's because you love them. And if you are saved, you have to love that person back.
It's working.
So Tony meets up with McFlurry, and he finds out that Natasha wants Iron Man to be a part of the Avengers, but not Tony.
To turn over the Iron Man suit would be to turn over myself, which is tantamount to indentured servitude or prostitution, depending on what state you're in. You can't afford me.
So they hire him as a consultant. So Coulson's out in the desert, and we see what he got called away for. And it's a giant crater with Thor's hammer in the middle.
That was... wow. I'm such a huge fan of yours.
I should probably subscribe to your channel, or at least like the video.
I'm an animal? Come on. He's a human being.
I think I did okay.